Hello again, welcome to lesson 2. Today's lesson is looking at 2-ball juggling and incorporating some of the things that we learned in lesson 1. Great, let's get started. So we're going to start with some very basic juggling. This is for people who have never juggled before, but we will look at some other more advanced things as well. So let's start with 2 balls in each hand. We're going to throw both of them up at the same time in a column and catch them in the same hands. It looks like this. We're going to try to do this a couple of times. Great. Now from here we're going to try to cross them as we throw. So it looks like this. Nice and easy. So it's very similar to this, but instead we're just going to throw them at the exact same time, crossing them in the air, then catching. Again, just try to get them running. You can mix it up. Great. All right, once you've mastered those, you're really bang on then. So we're going to, after you've mastered those, we're going to look at a cascade pattern. To begin with, we're going to do this as a column throw. So it's going to look like this. 1, 2. Yeah, that's all. 1, 2. Then what we want to do is we want to shorten the distance in between them. So it goes 1, 2, and then even shorter. 1, 2. Try left, right. So try right, left, left, right. Great. After you've mastered this, what we're going to do is we're going to cross them as in that same timing. This is a bit tricky if you've never done any juggling, but this is the foundation of a cascade pattern. So it looks like this. Just notice that it's still that same action. I've thrown both the balls, but they're crossing in the air now. An important thing to think about is that the first ball that you throw, so if it is out of your right hand, it hits its peak. And then once it hits its peak, and just as it's about to fall, you throw the second ball. So it hits its peak, and then you throw the second ball. Sometimes we get a little bit stuck with this, and if people are learning how to juggle, they end up doing a shower pattern, which looks like this. This is not wrong, it's just a different pattern. It's called a shower. It's where you throw one over, and the other one zips underneath. For this one, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to throw both of the balls in the air and then catch them. This takes a little bit of time. I'm just going to show you one more time, but give a bit of time for this. Once you've mastered it, you can go right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. One more time. Fantastic. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is some multiplexing. So a multiplex is when you throw 2 balls out of one hand. So there's many different ways of doing this, but we're just going to learn the most basic ways today. So we're going to throw out of one hand, and we're going to catch in that same hand. This is a bit tricky with if you don't have if you have really big juggling balls, but just have a go. So you throw, catch. It's pretty tricky, but have a go. Throw, catch. Try both sides. Also, there's a little thing that you can try. If you want to separate the balls in the air a little bit longer, you can have your thumb on the ball, and it just delays that second throw a tiny bit, so you can end up splitting them a little bit more. So have a go at that too. Also, try alternatively to keep them really close together. And that's without the thumb. So try to alternate both of those. From there, give all of those a bit of a go, and make sure that you've mastered all of those different variations. After that one, we're going to try to split the balls. So instead of having them in our hand like this, we're going to swap around like this, and we're going to throw them, and they're going to split in the air and catch with both, one in each hand. Try this on both sides. So like this. Excellent. Okay, from there we're going to learn the foundations of a box. So we're going to start with 2 balls in one hand. We're going to throw the first ball, so the ball that is furthest away from us. Then the ball that's closest to us is going to do a zip across. This seems really tricky, but persevere with this one because it is a foundation of a lot of really fun juggling tricks later on. So it looks like this. One more time. So you throw the top one, it goes up. As it hits its peak, you do a zip across. This is caught by the other hand, and then the top one is caught. So one more time. One more time. Try this both sides. Excellent. Now, if you want a bit more of an advanced version of this, is to start with 2 balls in each hand and throw, zip, zip. If you're getting totally lost with this, not to worry, we will just maybe skip this one and, but also try to persevere. So, it looks like this. Throw, zip, zip. If you're really struggling, try to throw that one so there's throw it quite high so you've got plenty of time to do the zip underneath it. Try both sides. If you feel like you've mastered it, try a little bit smaller. Excellent. So the last thing that we're going to look at today is 2 balls in one hand. This is a little bit tricky, particularly if you haven't juggled before, but persevere because this is really fun once you can get it. So you start with 2 balls in one hand. You're going to throw the one that's furthest away from you, and then we're going to, the most basic version is to do like a circular action. This is called a fountain. So it's where the ball goes up, hits its peak, down, up, hits its peak, down. So it looks like this. It seems tricky, but just persevere with it. The most important thing is that we don't want to be doing this sort of action. So we don't want the ball to be going around like this. We want it to be going around like this. Yeah? This takes a little bit of time. Also, a thing to help you is maybe stand in front of a wall if you're finding you're going forward and throwing them up. Again, also a good thing is to throw them with plenty of height so you've got plenty of room to move and you can be thinking about where to catch them. So just a demonstration one more time. So again, it hits its peak. Once the ball hits its peak, you throw the second one, and then it's like music, it's like a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try this both sides. 1, 2. That'll take a little while to get, but persevere with it. Another little variation of this is once you've got that, this is a nice little advanced thing if you're feeling like that's really easy. It's to go in a column pattern with one hand. So it's where you go throw, 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 throw. But your hand moves and the balls stay in the same columns. So it looks like this. Just a little variation, and it's really good for the brain to kind of switch on where the balls are heading. Try that both sides. Great. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in.